Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We are excited to get a little nerdy, but also share some pretty cool stories. I have a lot of lovely ladies next to me here, and we are going to introduce ourselves as we each kind of move forward in this webinar, but we want to be respectful of your time. So Laura, if you can move forward to give you a little overview of what we're going to go over tonight. I am going to get nerdy about the science. So I put my glasses on. And then we're going to talk about kind of the differences between some other collagens you may have taken or heard of and what is special about Liquid BioCell collagen. We're going to share stories. We're going to talk about different options because it's not just one. And if you're in the US or Canada, there's some different options there as well. Then we're going to choose our giveaway winner. So make sure that you are engaging in the chat, in the comments, asking questions. Tell us where you're from, who invited you, if you have any questions, what you're looking to learn tonight, anything like that. And then we'll do Q&A. All right, Laura, next. I'm Stacy Toth. I'm one of the leaders here on our larger Shaklee team, and I am also a professional researcher. I've written books. I am a podcaster. I have a career in regulation. I'm a regulatory expert, and I'm also currently working on getting a nutritional certification. So I am not a medical professional. While I am a questioner and a skeptic, and I love to research and share those things, if you have medical questions, none of the people here on this call are going to be the person to ask. Of course, we can give you our personal experiences or recommendations and tell you specifically about the clinical results of products and more about the products and the ingredients. But if you have medical questions, that would be for a medical practitioner, which we are not. Okay, next. Okay, let's get into some nerdy stuff. One of the things, so just to let you know, I have been taking collagen for probably 15 years. There is literally a picture of me while I was on a book tour. I was craving homemade broth, and someone who came to my book signing brought me homemade broth, and I'm drinking it with a straw. That is hardcore. That is how hardcore I am about collagen. And yet I did not know how Liquid BioCell worked because it is only 1 gram of collagen. I was like, I don't understand how this stuff works. I don't think it's real. I'm a skeptic. I'm not gonna jump in. But the science is insanely overwhelming with actual double-blind, placebo clinical studies proving things like joint pain reduction, skin wrinkling. We'll get into all of that. But what you need to know is that the results are real, especially for people as you age. So a lot of us, raise your hand, shout out if you're in perimenopause, if things are feeling a little different than they did maybe a few years ago. That's because our collagen depletes 1% every year after our 20s. So if you think about the compounded interest of your collagen loss, it catches up to you over time. Okay, next. Yeah, you see a lot of you are like, yep, not the only one. So the really cool thing about the Liquid BioCell, I know people call it collagen, but it really is a misnomer. I'm going to refer to it as BioCell for the rest of the call because I want you to think about it differently. Liquid BioCell collagen is an activator. It is the thing that, because of a matrix of ingredients within it, it mimics not only your own cartilage, but it is doing other things with hyaluronic acid, cushioning the joints, and the activation of the type of small molecular type 2 collagen going in and activating. It's basically sending out signal flares to your body's own systems to say, get to work. The collagen that's already here, the workers that are already here, get back to work. We know you're tired. We know you've been around the block, but it's time to get back to work. And that's why we see such a difference between something like a collagen powder. Shaklee also sells collagen 9. It's also a fantastic product that I take. But the purpose of collagen 9 is to provide a complete protein. It is to give you extra protein and fill some gaps where you might need it. That is not doing the activation. It's providing the resource. And then BioCell is saying, for that collagen that's already here, whether because you drank soup or you had a protein-rich meal or whatever it might be, it's then activating what's already in your system. Okay, next. So I mentioned results. We're all going to tell our stories, but I want you to know that the science is really, really, really strong on this. We have, as I mentioned, double-blind placebo clinicals, and you will get these slides, whether you're watching the replay or are here live, and all of the scientific references and clinical study results are at the end for you to dig into if you're a nerd like me. But for example, because of the hyaluronic acid in BioCell, you're getting a 13% improvement in reduction in wrinkles. I believe that was within 28 days, within 1 month of use, with 76% reduction in dryness. For those of you that were like, yes, I'm feeling perimenopause and menopause, who is feeling dry? Because I know I'm not the only one, right? I want to be hydrated from the inside out, and that hydration is extending to our joints. It's extending to blood circulation, and you're going to feel better from all of those things moving around in your body and getting to work better. Okay, next. So I mentioned hyaluronic acid. A lot of you are probably using a skincare product that already has hyaluronic acid. I'm a skincare nerd junkie. I have known about the power of hyaluronic acid for a really long time because I use a serum that has it. One of the things that hyaluronic acid does is it binds to the water that you already have and then makes it exponentially more hydrated, if that is a way to use the word. But essentially, what the hyaluronic acid in Liquid BioCell is doing is going in to what are your collagen cells, fibroblasts, and hydrating them and supporting the environment that they work in so that it's actually providing an environment where they're more successful to produce collagen, to produce cushion, to do those things. It's why we see such strong results with osteoarthritis and joint pain and those different kinds of things, both in clinicals and anecdotal results that we'll talk about. And also, oh, go back one sec, Laura. BioCell is also inhibiting hyaluronidase, which is the enzyme that breaks down your own body's hyaluronic acid, because like collagen, it is something that is being reduced over time. It's why we start to see the elastin in our skin start to show crepey skin or wrinkles or those kinds of things. That is from the elastin and the hyaluronic acid kind of leaving our skin. So the hyaluronidase is stopped. So it's not only reducing the breakdown of that, but then it's introducing more support with more hyaluronic acid. Okay, next. In an analogy, if hyaluronic acid was the pipes in a building, and we're at a construction site, right? And we know that a construction site at any building, we're going to want water, we're going to need pipes, we're going to do all that stuff. Protein, including collagen, because collagen is a type of protein, is one of the building materials that we need. The fibroblasts that I mentioned, those are the cells that are working. And over time, a construction worker is going to get tired. And even though he might have materials less than he started with, he's going to be less efficient. The bioactive peptides are the foremen, the project managers that are like, get back to work. Okay, next slide. So what your body actually needs is all of these things. And while Liquid BioCell will help support the workers to have more supplies and get back to work, it also has hyaluronic acid because of the internals that I talked about. We also recommend that you're using a hyaluronic acid on your skin. That's not going to stop. Shaklee does also have other protein products. So if you're like, oh, I thought that Liquid BioCell was collagen supplement, I'm really looking for protein, I would argue that you need both. There's all different kinds of, measurements that you can look to get adequate protein, but I think a standard is 100 grams of protein minimum. If you're not getting adequate protein, definitely talk to your ambassador about some of these other options, because the more you have, the more effective Liquid BioCell is going to work at getting those fibroblasts to be more effective. Okay, next. One of the common questions that we get is, there's a lot of different products and what might be right for you. I'm not going to go through this whole eyesore of a chart. It is a lot to navigate, but what I want you to know is that your Shaklee ambassador, that is literally our job. And we get so geeked out excited when you ask us a question and want help finding a product. Like literally we do a little happy dance and we're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so reached out to us and we're so happy to help. So if you have a question like, I'm looking for cellular health, great. Life BioCell is going to help with that. And we also have a creatine product and blah, 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 right? There's a lot of different solutions we're going to help you through. Okay, next. I know Angela just said, I wish there was one product that had it all. But you know what's really, I know this is a little bit of a sidebar here, but one of anecdote that I think about pretty often is because there's astronauts up in space right now. They do not send them up. They could give them one complete like bar or shake or something that has everything that they need and give them nothing else for their entire trip. But they don't do that because people would get bored and it would be monotonous. And so while I understand that you're looking for one solution, the good news is that we have different things that we can slot in based on our needs at different times in our life, and we can keep it fun and change things up, and we're here to help you not feel overwhelmed by that. One of the reasons that we're doing this particular training right now is that Shaklee in the United States just launched a new Life Plus. We're going to talk about the Canadian version in a second, but for the US version, this additional benefit, get it, the plus on Life Plus, the additional benefit is being added to the BioCell. We're getting calcium, we're getting pine bark extract, different phytonutrients and antioxidants, minerals that are protecting our cellular health and reducing antioxidants, increasing antioxidants to reduce inflammation. We're stimulating the collagen production with the BioCell that I talked about, as well as zinc and biotin. And then it's also building. This is incredible. We have clinical studies that are showing calcium, and because of the calcium and the different mechanisms, bone strength is being increased as well, which is another thing that, especially for women going into our later years, we really need help with. And so the fact that it's not just cushioning our joints, but actually strengthening our bones is really incredible. Okay, next. In the Canadian BioCell, fun fact, don't tell the Americans on the call, but y'all actually had the very first Life Plus formula. And I actually think that the United States formula is based on the success of the Canadian one, because Your Health Canada needed some pretty strict requirements to get the health claims approved. I'm sure y'all are not new to this and how that goes, but essentially Shaklee Modere at the time created this plus version for Canada so that they could actually make therapeutic claims. And Jen Apperly is Canadian. She's going to talk about her story in a second. To be able to say that it relieves joint pain associated with osteoarthritis for both hip and knee pain. This is really incredible. So y'all actually already have like a boosted product. It didn't just launch. You've had it for a while. And kudos to you. Thanks for paving the way for us Americans to have access. Okay, next. I want to talk about my story first, but I'm going to then introduce you to some awesome ladies, and I will hand it over in a minute. But Laura, if you can move forward here for me. I personally did not expect to see results. I went into this a skeptic. I 100% did not think that I was going to see results because I've loved collagen and taken it for so long. And it honestly, looking at photos of me while I was doing my makeup, and I caught my hairline in an image and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I could have a flat hairline. I don't think I've had one since high school. My hairline had been receding into what was almost like a widow's peak, but I don't actually have a widow's peak. As you can see, my hairline is actually moving forward, and that is from Liquid BioCell. That has only happened in the last 3 to 4 months since I've been taking it. And another big surprise to me is if you can see the difference between the eye area and the folds around my nose and mouth, those are less deep. And that is from the hyaluronic acid and the elastin kind of being restored to my face. I'm in my mid 40s. And those are signs, I don't know if you know this, but at 44, we have like a burst of aging that have hit pretty hard on me lately. And so to be able to see the difference just from like a few months ago is incredible. I don't do hype. I'm not a big like dramatic person. So to be able to make these claims, I also want to point out incredible reduction in joint pain. Specifically, I am a potter, and my potter's elbow disappeared. Like it didn't even occur to me that it was from BioCell. I just like stopped having pain, and I'm now reflecting back and being like, oh my gosh, that happened a little while after starting BioCell. So I'm going to hand it over to, I think, Chelsea. Is that who's next? No, Jocelyn. Jocelyn is next.
I'm here.
Yay, Jocelyn's here. Okay, Jocelyn's like so committed. She's coming from her car. So thank you so much, Jocelyn.
You're welcome. And I don't know if I don't know if my camera's on or not, or if you need to see me, but I'm just going to start talking. Okay, perfect. So thank you for all of that sciencey stuff. It's super interesting, and I'm going to try to just share about 2 minutes of a little bit of my story. I'm actually coming to you from Toronto. I'm in Canada, so that was great to hear what you just said. I didn't know that. I have been taking Liquid BioCell for um, almost, I think it's been over 4 years now. And I feel like this has been a total game changer for me personally in so many ways. And as you can see from this picture, for my husband as well. I had heard about Liquid BioCell for about a year before I started taking it, and it was from a trusted friend. However, I just couldn't wrap my brain around the investment, which would be a monthly thing, because I knew that you needed to be consistent with this product. And so I dragged my heels for about a year. However, I'm right now 51. So at that time, I was in the midst of perimenopause. I was freaking out about my hairline. I felt like it was receding and it was thinning, and it was just really stressing me out. And so about a year later, my twin sister, Amy, actually started taking the Liquid BioCell, and she would send me these pictures and videos of her hairline because she was going through the same thing. And I was like, no way. No way. I couldn't even believe it. And it got to the point where her hair was growing back so much along her hairline, and more things were happening as well, that I just felt like I didn't have a choice. I had to start taking this. So I decided to give it about 2 to 3 months. And within the first week, I'm just telling you, like within my first week, my hot flashes, which I'd been having daily, multiple times, literally were gone. And then I think it took another maybe 2 or 3 months for my hair to start, like I really started noticing it. And as you can see, if you zoom in at the picture, you'll see I have a different years. And it's still, I'm 4 years in now. I'm feeling like it's helped my scalp. I used to have some psoriasis areas. It's helped my gums, my nails. I never used to really cut my toenails that much. Like, how often do you cut your toenails? But I'm a yoga instructor, and I found that I was cutting my toenails with like nail clippers way more often than I ever have my whole life. And so it just shows that that's was making my toenails grow faster as well. I could go on and on, but I think I'm going to stop there. But definitely, if you try it, consistency is the key. Giving it some time, and then if you do have a partner that's balding on the top of his head or her head, have them try it too. Okay. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. I love your story, Jocelyn. Okay, now it's Chelsea. Oh, you got to unmute. There you go.
Okay. Am I showing in the corner? Okay, I can't see myself. Okay, that's weird. Um, okay, I still see you, but that's okay. I'll just talk. All right, so I'm Chelsea Bright, and let me tell you, just like Stacy, I'm not about the hype. And I sit back, I watch trends, I watch people try things first. And when we acquired Modera and people kept talking about this BioCell product, and then specifically the trim and smooth version, I was really curious, and I kept seeing results, and I was like, I don't know, are the pictures off? I'm not really sure. So what happened for me, it was right before my 42nd birthday. You can see on the left photo at that little beach lake area, I was with my family on a camping trip. I saw this photo of myself and I was like, who is that? Like, I have never seen myself like that before. I didn't recognize, like, mainly my midsection and lower half of my thigh area. I was like, what in the world? And I had already been eating healthy, exercising, taking care of my health inside and out. And it was like that 40 first year, I was like, what is happening? There are changes, just like many of you have experienced. So that was like the moment where I said, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to add it into my routine, even though I didn't want to add something new. It's as simple as a tablespoon in the morning. So that I can do. I just added it onto my morning breakfast routine. And I was like, I'm going to give it consistency because that's what we have to do with anything new that we're trying. So pretty much I was like, I'll give it 2 months. And I did start to see some changes at 2 months, but it was the third month that blew me away. So I had originally taken some before pictures just for my own accountability to see if anything really did change. I did not plan on sharing them. My husband started noticing some things, and I was like, oh my goodness. When I did this side by sides, and I have actually a lot of side by sides. So if anybody's curious about my other before and afters, I'm happy to share them. They're also on my Instagram. But these are just two right here of the full body and the close up of my thigh. And man, was I seeing improvement in tone. The visibility of the smoother cellulite was going away, less puffiness and bloating in the midsection. You can even see the width of my hip and thigh area like slimmed down, which is like body composition there. So I was feeling more confident in my clothes because again, I was like putting on items and I'm a personal stylist. Clothes are my thing. And I was like, these jeans don't fit me. Oh my goodness. And then slowly I started kind of getting back to myself. I also did start to be a little bit more intentional about some of my exercise and dialing in some of my food, but I really didn't change that too much. It was this product that I added and was consistent with, and I was seeing changes just like I saw these other gals. So I was like, okay, I'm a believer. And it was just amazing. So really nothing replaces consistency. You know, obviously we have this holistic approach to health. So it's not like this one product is going to magically change everything for you. But what I can say is the claims and the clinical results of what it says it does, it does. And I've seen it on so many people. And so this is just a version of BioCell, as Stacy described BioCell, this like an umbrella term, right? And then we have these different versions. Trim and Smooth is a version of that because it focuses on the cellulite smoothing, the body composition, helps with metabolism, which I notice, and I take it first thing in the morning. But I also do take the Life BioCell in the evening. And so I have one in the morning, one at night, because that gives me that full, you know, 2 tablespoon serving. And I have 2 different versions that I'm benefiting from. And I'm so excited about this new version, which I just got into my hands as well. So pictures really say a lot, and you'll see that with all of our testimonials. But yeah, I wasn't going to share this online, and then I did, and I was able to have a lot of conversations with women who were not feeling themselves in many ways, including just in their bodies. And so being able to share this really helped a lot of women so far, and I'm excited to help others in the future. So really, you have nothing to lose and only positive things to gain. And if for some reason it doesn't work for you, there's really no risk with Shaklee, which is great, in trying something new.
Yes, we will talk about the empty bottle money back guarantee. I also want to point out for those of you that are in Canada, there is a slide at the end where we're going to talk about options. Your version of this is just called Trim. It's not called Trim and Smooth, just FYI. Okay, next slide, please, Laura. So we have another Canadian, Jen Apperly. Where'd you go, Jen?
I'm here. Hello, everyone. Hi. So my name is Jen. I am in Calgary, Alberta. Hello, fellow Canadians. I'm a nurse, as you can see in the picture here. And so I was really struggling. I had back pain. If any of you have had back pain, I know you know. It's really debilitating. I didn't understand it until it actually happened to me. And so it was almost a year that I was struggling off and on with back pain. I was having to call in sick to work sometimes, go home from work sometimes. Like it was just really debilitating. I wasn't able to like get on the floor and play with my kid and like, just do the things that I could normally do. And so I tried all the things that I could try. I started like trying to do Pilates when I could. Even walking was painful some days for me. And so I decided to go get a cortisone shot. I was like, okay, like people say these work. I'm gonna go try it. I got some x-rays done. They're like, oh, it just looks like osteoarthritis, which is just part of aging. So like they're like, welcome to aging. And I'm like, okay, but I feel like that can't just be it, right? So I was like trying to do all the things, trying to be active, try going to physio, got a cortisone shot because I was like, I was in so much pain that I literally couldn't stand it anymore. And so got that. Didn't really help me, to be honest. It wasn't, I didn't have really much relief from it. And so with talking with my doctor, they're like, hey, we're going to do some ablations of your nerves. We're going to get you on the list for an MRI in Canada. You get on the list and it takes like a year and a half to get an MRI to 2 years. And so I was like, okay, I guess that's what we got to do because I don't have quality of life. And so then I was kind of noticing talk about this liquid biocell, and so I'm like, okay, well, I might as well try it and see like what it does. I wasn't expecting anything for my back at all. Um, After about 60 days, I saw a big improvement in my back. I felt a big improvement in my back. It was wild. I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, what is this cortisone shot finally kicking in? Like, what, which is way late for it to kick in. That wasn't it. But I was like, what's happening? And I was very, like, Stacy, I was very skeptical. I was like, okay, I don't know if this is the thing. So I ended up doing it for 60 days. I was like feeling pretty good. I was able to get back to like working out a little bit, doing Pilates. And then I ran out and didn't, my order was, I was like, I didn't put my order in and I didn't have it for 2 weeks and my pain started to come back. And I was like, okay, I kind of feel like this liquid biocell is the thing. So I got my order in and started taking it. I haven't looked back because my back is, I would say 98% better. I barely have any issues with it anymore. And if you have pain, you know what a gift that is. And it's honestly so incredible. Um, I just can't say enough about it. It's honestly it just really changed my life for the better. And I will never go a day without taking it. It is just amazing.
It's such a powerful story, Jen. Thank you for sharing. And I want to echo what you said about running out and things coming back because the same thing happened to me with my elbow. Someone's asking about knee and ankle pain. I believe that um, it was on, I think, a couple of slides ago, but it's both hip and knee has clinical data for osteoarthritis. We're talking about elbow back. It's basically any joints because of that hyaluronic acid cushioning and supporting the fibroblast growth. So, okay, next we have Annette, I believe. Yay. Hi, Annette. Where'd you go?
I'm here. Can you see me? Hopefully. Okay. Um, it's just incredible to be able to speak to this because 2 years ago I didn't even know what collagen was. I've been in the wellness space with Shaklee, like I said, about 2 years, so I've learned so much, and it has just been life-changing, like the stories that you've heard so far. Mine is also. So I started collagen skeptically because that's how I was. I never did any of this before, like I said. So I had some pretty great results. You can see November of 24 through February of 26, and I was taking the collagen 9. And we acquired this BioCell technology last year, but I'm like, I don't know if I need to take that. That seems excessive. Why do I need different types of collagen? I'm having great results. Well, I bit the bullet and I started taking it inconsistently at the end of last year into the beginning of this year. And I did notice amazing things. Like Chelsea, I did take the trim and smooth version. And as we got into the cooler months, I tried a pair of pants and they didn't fit. And it was very discouraging, very upsetting. So, as many of us go through this period of life, there's ebbs and flows. So, I kind of just went along with it, tried to be mindful about my movement, what I was eating. But I started also becoming a little more consistent with the biocell because of these claims of reduction in cellulite, body composition. And at about that 90-day period is where I really began to feel a lot of those physical benefits. I tried on that pair of pants, and well, wouldn't you believe it? They fit without feeling like the button was going to fly off. I know everybody has that feeling, and again, it's the worst thing. And actually tried those pants on again today. They fit loose. And I haven't lost weight, maybe a couple pounds, but nothing significant. So body composition, fat reduction in the midsection, that's where all of that was. It's just truly mind-blowing to me. And the claims of doing this, they work. And I just, like I said, I can't believe it. But in the midst of this too, I had insane hair growth with collagen 9. You can see between December and February, it really amplified there. My nails were never ever strong. I feel like they really were very tough, and the ridges in my nails were gone. And also, we were talking about joint pain. When I would work out, I would always have achy knees and they would hurt. That went away. I was taking Shaklee's joint complex, and since I've integrated the BioCell, I haven't been using that. So, a lot of things, like I said, before and after collagen is the one product I will not live without. And again, like all of us, not if you're not on collagen and being skeptical, let us be the one to validate that it does work. And it's just an incredible product. And that's definitely going to be something that I'm reassessing and but will definitely be in my lineup.
Thank you, Annette. And I think Sarah's going to wrap us up. Is that right?
Yep, I'm ready.
I think you've been taking it the longest of anybody.
I have. I'm so glad you all are here. My story starts in 2020. I had had 2 kids and had been given a diagnosis of a gluten intolerance. So I had cleaned up my diet and was just waiting for what I thought was that postpartum hair loss to just finally stop. And it still didn't. And I kept digging. Why am I not feeling right in my body? I ended up with a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. So started treating that, thought, okay, finally the hair loss is going to stop. Still didn't. Ended up at the dermatologist, who is also a hair specialist, and she diagnosed me with early onset female pattern baldness, which was devastating to me because, guys, I love my curls and I didn't want to lose all my hair. So she said, there's not a cure, but here's some medicine you can take to slow it down. And I did some research on the side effects, was not real impressed. So I started digging for a different, better option. And that's when I found Liquid BioCell. So I started taking it consistently, as my other friends have said, twice a day. And when I went back to the dermatologist in 2023, she said, if I had not given you that diagnosis, I would not believe it to be true. So that is the power of BioCell that it has with hair growth. But it didn't stop there. I also saw my inflammation markers come down in my body from my rheumatoid arthritis. And one of the biggest benefits for me was that I started sleeping better because I was putting something in my body to help it build and heal instead of constantly fighting each other with all of the inflammation. And so I was actually able to rest while I was sleeping. So Liquid BioCell has a dedicated shelf in my fridge. It has for 5 years, and it will continue to have its own shelf. No jelly over there. This is Sarah's shelf. And it will stay there because I can see it and I can feel it in my body. So
I love that. Sarah often says if you are taking a collagen that you cannot see and feel making a difference, try Liquid BioCell because it will make a difference. So for those of you that are asking questions, we're going to get to them in a minute. If you can advance the next slide, Laura, please. So let's talk about the options. As Chelsea mentioned, BioCell is the basis of everything that we're talking about, but there's a lot of different options. We've mentioned Life, we've mentioned Trim and Smooth. Let's go to the next slide and I'm going to show you the different options depending on what your needs are. So if you're in Canada, you have access to Trim and the existing Life Plus. You also have access to Pure, Beauty, and Pet. If all the things that we're saying, by the way, also apply to our fur babies and their joints. There are some remarkable stories of pet improvements. Annette didn't mention it, but she's raising her hands. There are some remarkable stories for the pet versions of this. And then in the US, we also have Pure, Beauty, and Pet. And then we have the brand new Life Plus. We also have the old Life, which is not Life Plus. I think they're phasing that out, but it's still available right now. And then we also have Trim and Smooth, which you heard Annette and Chelsea talk about. Ultimately, it's just a matter of what you're looking for. Also, the US has Immune. But honestly, I think rather than taking Immune, I would recommend that someone take the new Life Plus in the US because, and the one in Canada, both already have zinc in them, so that you're going to get that immune benefit there. Okay, next slide. Jen says, I will say the Pure does not taste yummy. No, it does not. Just FYI. The ones that we were talking about other than Pure do have some flavorings and they're like fruit juice. So just FYI that, you know, you can check out what the flavor profiles are going to be, but Pure is basically like, it's like chicken juice, you know, and that's a medicine that you're taking. That's not for like, you know, a shot of deliciousness, but the other items do taste good. I want to show you what some of your options are. So for those of you that are looking, we did show you that big graph of different things and you're asking questions like, well, what about this and what about this? Maybe you might want to consider the BioAge Reset Stack, which is going to give you your complete nutrition between the Daily Essentials multivitamin and omega-3s, which are also going to help with a lot of the things that we just talked about in nutritional sufficiency, as well as the Life Shake and additional anti-inflammatory benefits with Vivix. This is going to set you up to really jumpstart your health journey, whatever that might be. So if you're like, I resonate so much with what you're talking about, a lot of us, raise your hands, ladies, if you're taking more than just BioCell with a lot of the things that we're talking about with Shaklee. I think we're all kind of taking a lot of these products as well. So they're going to work really well with BioCell. And if you're hearing these stories and you're motivated and you're inspired, you want to go on a journey and maybe share yours with others, or you're like, wait, you all as a team provide this as a tool and I can just invite my friends and family to hop on and you will tell them about these products and then they can shop with my link and I can earn money. Absolutely. We would invite you to upgrade to an ambassador. We would love to work with you. We're cool kids. And we would love to see you around. So definitely talk to the person who invited you and talk maybe about jumping into a business. There is a business kit version. Okay, next slide. For my Canadian friends, this is your version. And as usual, like I mentioned earlier, you had early access and you also get a gift with purchase this month. So we Americans are a little bit jealous, but you also have your own reset bundles that you can purchase both as a client or as an ambassador. But what you might want to consider if you're really motivated by the BioCell today is the 2 Life Plus bottles that you would need. That is a dosage for a month. 2 bottles a month is adequate dosage. And also taking it on an empty stomach, not with other foods, will help your body absorb it more effectively. So highly recommend that. Get the 2 bottle package and you can choose a free gift of either the sunless tanning or what is the other one there? I don't even know. Firming something. Sorry, I can't read it. Firming something.
Stacy, it's a body firming cream.
Thank you. So if you're like, oh, the trim and smooth, but you don't have the smooth, you could get the firming cream instead. Okay, next slide. The flavor of the BioCell is kind of like a berry flavor for those of you that are wondering. Okay, we mentioned this earlier, results are guaranteed. So if you're a skeptic, but you're hearing what we're saying and you're like, it's worth a shot, but I am also a questioner. What is really great about any Shaklee product is that our CEO guarantees that if you don't feel better by the time you hit the end of a bottle, he will give you your money back. Empty bottle guarantee. So you can know that we have all these clinical results, things that you can see and feel, but really what matters is how you feel. And so be assured that if you decide to make a purchase, we have such confidence in our product that we will give you your money back if it doesn't work. Okay, next slide. I am going to ask some of the ladies here if they can maybe go through and choose some of the comments for a full bottle size of the Liquid BioCell Trim and Smooth. If you're in Canada, that would just be the trim, and also Vitally multivitamins, because honestly, none of this works if you're not nutrient sufficient. But also, if you're going to sound off in the chat, we are going to give away a business kit. So if you are someone who's like maybe thinking about this and you're a little bit curious, but you're also a little bit scared, or maybe the price of the $50 kit is a barrier to you and you really could use extra income and don't have that extra $50 to spend, put it in the chat. I'm considering it, and we will include you as the potential winner of the giveaway for the business kit. And we'll go through all of the winners and choose those as we're answering questions. So make sure to put things in the chat, and I'm going to get to the Q&A next. Okay, So thank you. We ran over a little bit. I always say I'm going to try to be fast, and we never are as fast as I say we're going to be. But with such powerful stories and strong science, it's hard to move through things so quickly. I wanted to share while we're on this Q&A that we had a webinar where we learned about BioCell from Shaklee, and they asked people in the chat to share what their experience using the products were, and it blew up. It was like literally like fire of all the people talking about the life-changing results that they had with BioCell. So I wanted to share a few of those screenshots with you. And also going to answer questions. So the first one that I see under the actual question box, so I'm going to go for those first, and then maybe you ladies can go through the chat and read some other ones to me. The question from Cindy is, what is best for autoimmune issues, inflammation, and joint pain? So Laura, if you can go back to that Venn diagram slide. Thank you, my lady. Life BioCell, as you can see, is right there smack dab in the middle for joints, inflammation, and also you're going to get benefits of beauty with it. It would be what I would recommend for someone with inflammatory needs. You can also use Vivix as something that can be really helpful for inflammation, but Life is going to address, especially if you're having joint issues in those autoimmune, that would be helpful. Again, we're not doctors. We can't give you medical recommendations, but for someone who is experiencing the joint issues and inflammation, Life is going to be a fantastic tool for you. BioCell, for Anne who asked, is not vegan. It is based on chicken, so it is not beef. I know a lot of people sometimes have issues with beef or pork collagen. It is made from chicken, so it is not vegan. And in fact, I think maybe algae is the only way that you can get collagen, but it's not even real collagen from a vegan source. All collagen is going to be sourced from an animal because it's literally our connective tissue in living beings. Okay, someone also asked in the question box, is Liquid BioCell safe while breastfeeding or pregnant? I used to always go to, there was a website that I would go to, but there is nothing in these products that would be concern towards that. Again, we're not medical professionals, but none of these ingredients would be anything that could potentially harm mom or baby. It's literally collagen, which you could get from, as I mentioned earlier, soup, and it's zinc, which is in food that you eat, right? So it's just giving you a concentration of things that you could find in your diet and life otherwise. Okay, someone says it seems really pricey. You're not wrong, Lorraine. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This is part of why we're all skeptics. And as I think it was Annette said, she's gone off the joint complex. So have I since starting this. I was taking turmeric before to help with inflammation and joint pain. I'm not taking that anymore. And to Jen's story, quality of life in being able to be active and move and comfort and those kinds of things is of value to me. There are ways to get things more affordably. So definitely talk to your ambassador about how you can set up loyalty to get 15% credit back every month. We have a lot of ways that we can work with you and help to make this as feasible as possible. We want to help you for sure. Okay, Sylvia says she has an autoimmune condition. She can't take anything that may enhance her immune system as it's already overactive. Would Life be the right one to take? I would encourage you to talk to your medical professional. It is not an active ingredient insofar that it is not an immune adjutant, like adjuvant, the way that a vaccine would activate your immune system. But I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to tell you, no, it's fine. And I don't know your medical condition, so I can't answer that. What sort of sweetener is used? I think stevia and fruit juice. Sarah, is that correct? Yes, okay. Yes, Danielle, we will be sending out the replay. So if you missed the beginning with all the science, you will get that in your inbox probably tomorrow for the replay. The trim does not contain GLPs like what you're seeing on the internet. Those are different proprietary patented ingredients. They have nothing to do with the GLP hormone. Okay, ladies, what was asked in the chat that we missed? I think I just ran through all the ones in the question box.
Julie asked, I'm older and have had both knees replaced. How will this help me?
It will help with the cushioning around your knees. So if you still have pain, or like my grandmother had to get hers done twice because they wear out, this will help reduce the wear and tear because you're going to have more cushion around your joints.
Alyssa,
Why it was important to take it on an empty stomach.
Because your body will absorb better if it's not also digesting other foods at the same time. You want it to hit your body and absorb all of that without like going through your digestive tract. You want it in your bloodstream, so to speak. So it will optimize. If there have been plenty of days where I forgot to take it before breakfast and then I take it after, it's fine. It's just if you can create a habit where you take it before anything else, that's ideal.
Someone asked about the dosage for both doses, morning and night. And isn't it like a 12-hour, if you can, right, difference? So like if you take it with breakfast, take the other one in the evening. Usually I take it before bedtime.
Yes, that is the recommended dosage. I am a rebel and I take a double dose in the morning and don't worry about it the rest of the day. It's fine. So, but I only take the one. I don't take like Trim and Smooth and Life. So it's easier for me just to do it all at once. If I was doing the separate ones, I would definitely do them at different times.
Alyssa said she's in her 20s and has always had thin hair that she just can't get to grow. Do you think it would help?
It can't hurt. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but there is a empty bottle money back guarantee. I would give it 2 full months to see a difference. I think most of us waited 2 to 3 months before, okay, 3 for other people are saying, 90 days. See, but all of us who have taken it have had hair growth, every single one of us. So even if your hair remains thin, there might be more of it, and that could be helpful.
Real quick, since I just went to my hairstylist yesterday, and not only was I seeing all the little spurts up here and in the front, and I was like, my BioCell life is working because I was already taking the Trim and Smooth. So when I added that in, that's when I was noticing more of that.
Yeah.
I know Sarah was seeing the other day.
I just got my hair done last week and my hairdresser could not believe all the new growth and things in my hair. And she literally ordered it on the spot. Like my hairdresser seeing my hair was like, I need this. So Jen, you just pointed out, keep your empty bottles. If you commit to 3 months, Shaklee really will refund you for those 6 bottles. Like if you commit to 3 months and you don't see results, like they will refund you. So literally there's nothing to lose in trying, and hopefully you get the benefit from it that we have seen.
Yeah, with the hair growth, I have 3 kids. I didn't even have this type of hair growth postpartum. So my hairdresser also was like, "What magic are you taking?" Because I said I have bangs. If they
No, I literally had to my hair just the reason I went to my hair to get my hair done was to get bangs, because my new growth is I have curly hair and it's like it's wild, and I was like, I've got to try to make it look like it's intentional. So okay, so Cheryl just asked, should I stop taking the Trim and focus on BioCell? Trim has BioCell in it. So what Chelsea does, what I would recommend, which, and I think that's what Sarah and Annette do as well. They take 1 dose of the Trim, which is like 2 tablespoons, whatever it is. And then you take your other dose 12 hours apart. So that would be Life Plus, Pure, Beauty, one of the other options. Okay, Edie has raised her hand. Do you want to come? I don't know. Are you able to allow to talk? Here you go.
Someone was also asking about does it need to be refrigerated?
Yes, it does. Once it's opened, it does. That is the downfall. They do make travel packs that, are sealed, so you can take them with you, but unfortunately, that is a thing. It's an active ingredient, bioactive, so it has to stay refrigerated. Oh, you don't have them in Canada. Sorry, Jen. Well, you get a free gift, so
Win some, lose some.
Win some, lose some. Okay. Is there anything else we didn't answer? I want to thank you all so much for being here and engaging. Thank you to you ambassadors for giving of your time and telling your stories, being vulnerable. It was truly inspiring. And I know I'm not the only one who felt that way. I hope anyone who goes and tries this product, that you have the success with it that we have felt. And if not more, please share your testimonials with us. We love to hear from you. Take before and after photos also. Like you saw that close-up one of my face. Take that so that you will not believe it if you do not see it. So take the photos, and we hope that we see you at our next event. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.